I'm seeing it, George.
Lovely.
Sorry.
Get rid of it
Oh,
now.
neat.
Zoom tight.
Thank you.
I will go back later and edit out the part where I said lovely. Hi. We are just going to take a couple more minutes, I think, as hopefully some folks are coming into the room. You are more than welcome to stay off camera or put your camera on, whichever you prefer. We do have live streaming set up though, so if your camera does turn on, that goes to YouTube. Yeah. Hi. I love this setup. I get to see everyone's faces. Another note is I may occasionally get a little bit distracted and do some squinting at the screen as I let people in to the Zoom room if they'd like, since the screen is currently about 5 feet away from me.
If you want, you can make a second host and other people can let folks in, I think.
I can't. Theo, that's a great idea, and you're making me get up again.
Sorry.
It's a little bit less harsh on the lighting.
And just for that.
Excellent. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. I can do this. Okay. All right, well, let's get started, shall we? Welcome and thank you for being here and for joining us on this either cold or simply cool evening, depending on where you are. Here in the Pacific Northwest, it's actually been quite nice today. Thank you for joining and for celebrating the turning of a new year and celebrating queer community, queer power, and wonder and courage and all of those things that we require to strike out into the new year. So with that, I will actually just pass it over to BA and we will start getting our minds focused for the work tonight.
Take a moment to think on and give voice to any distractions or ills that would close your heart to our celebration tonight. Call them out, name them, and cast them into the air, released, so they may be transformed by our work together. Headache, work stress,
Anxiety.
weariness,
Overwork.
Not enough work.
Also
Oh.
that.
Assorted aches and bodily harms.
Mhm.
Now that we've named our... Oh,
may these energies be transformed, and may we work in peace.
now that we've named our distractions, let's name our intentions. Take a breath and a moment to name your intent for tonight. What do you hope to come away with? What are you here to celebrate? If you feel called, take turns to share your intent in the chat or speak it aloud into your space. I'm here for a sense of continuity, a sense of community.
I'm here for similar. I'm here to help a sense of togetherness.
To remember that we're all in this together.
From others in the chat to journey in fellowship with others, with our community.
Lovely. Thank you all. And before we continue, I forgot to light the candles. Just one more moment for some technical difficulties. There we go. Ambiance complete. Now we can balance and center together. So close your eyes, clasp your own hands together. And if you want to get that good community feeling, you can even go left palm up, right palm down, and join hands. Focus for just a moment on our shared intent. Every single one of us here for a purpose, including those of us not currently on screen, including yourself. Breathe in. That shared intent for healing and celebration, for togetherness and community. Breathe out and let it settle in your heart. One more time. Breathe in and out. Together, we form a community built through the bonds of love and will. We give shape to this sacred space, which is not just my space with the big altar here, it's everyone's space. It's yours, it's mine. Together we sit in this virtual astral temple. This temple that we sit in is a fortress through which we weave the magic of life. And if you wish, you may release hands. In this place, we are present at the entrance to the labyrinth on top of the world's mound. The labyrinth that you can almost see the entirety of. Oh, that was right down there. This labyrinth, again, on top of the world's mound, the world's mound being the immortal foundation that supported the footsteps of our earliest spirits. Inside of that mound lives history and the past. So before we continue further, we acknowledge the histories of the spaces where we are present personally. And no matter where you're tuning in from, where you've joined from, we are standing or sitting on land where people have gathered and lived and honored the earth for more than 10,000 years. For my own self, where I am, these are the unceded territories of the tribes of the Salish region. We hope, all of us, to honor this land, our lands, with our work here tonight. In our tradition, the world mound is also the truncated pyramid. Today, a little more truncated than usual. And it's bolstered on all four sides by the four classical elements, together giving shape to our world. We're now going to call those elements into this space, beginning in the north with earth. You are invited to summon the elements within yourself and within your space in a way that feels right to you.
Take a moment to connect with the element of earth in a way that feels right to you. As I call forth that element into this space, if you'd like, you can intone the vowel sound ooh, if you so wish, or any other noise or sound that lets you better imagine the powers of earth entering our right. I bring in earth, the door to strength. I bring in the energies of fertile fields and ancient stone of growth and foundation. I bring the world mound and the obelisk's root as we welcome earth into this space. Netzah Shaliach.
Netzah Shaliach.
Take a moment to connect with air in a way that feels right to you. As I call forth the element of air into this space, quietly tone the vowel sound and imagine the powers of air entering our right. I bring in air, the door to knowledge. I bring the energies of cooling breezes and wild gales, of intellect and imagination. I bring the directions and the compass roads as we welcome air into this space. Netzah Shaliach.
Netzah Shaliach.
Take a moment to connect with fire in a way that feels right to you. As I call forth the element of fire into this space, quietly tone the vowel sound E, and imagine the powers of fire entering our right. I bring in fire, the door to power. I bring the energies of burning hearths and blood-warmed skin, of passion and vitality. I bring the flames of transformation and the obelisk as we welcome fire into this space. Netzah Shaliach.
Netzah Shaliach.
Take a moment to connect with water in a way that feels right to you. As I call forth the element of water into this space, quietly tone the vowel sound O, and imagine the powers of water entering our right. I bring in water, the door to mystery. I bring the energies of quenching range and ocean depths, of emotion and memory. I bring the labyrinth and the misted path as we welcome water into this space. Netzah Shaliach.
Netzah Shaliach.
And now we'll call on the spirits of our tradition and ask that they open the way.
We call on the spirits of place, ancient and modern, spirits of mountain and concrete, of misted forests and cold fresh waters. Reveal to us the currents of this land.
Call on terra and soul, twinned souls of matter and light, body and breath. Guide our magic to manifestation.
We call on the queer ancestors of blood and of spirit, mighty dead who carry the torches of wisdom into our hearts and lives. Protect us as we walk on twilight roads.
We call on the dragon, spiraling serpent at obelisk's root, source of earth and flame and deepest gold. Forge for us the crucible through which we are transformed.
We call on the Minotaur, starry bull of the blackest earth, challenger and guardian. Show us the light that lives in inky shadows.
We call on the queer divine, sacred transgressors and holiest of apostates. We call to youth, explorer, lover, healer, warrior, liberator, mystic, and elder. Bless us with flame and light, with queer power and open hearts.
We call now on the beating, flaming heart of our tradition. Phoenix, illuminator and alchemist, light source who casts no shadow, we call you down. Spread your wings and lift our hearts. Lift now the
now
veil,
the veil.
open
Open
now
now the way.
The way.
Take hands as you did before. Take a moment. Clasp your hands together, left palm up, right palm down. Take a breath, and let us prepare to enter the labyrinth together. You will never get lost in a labyrinth, for it is not a maze. There is one path in, and it is the same path out. Focus your attention on the journey we are about to take. Honor yourself and the others here tonight by choosing to be fully present. Open your heart to the possibilities that are present in this journey. See before you a large 7-circuit labyrinth of the sort represented at our altar. See the entrance before you opening to a left turn that leads into deepening shadow. Step forward. Walk the long, winding path back and forth from circuit to circuit. Note the smell of the air. Note the smell of the path, the feel of the air on your skin. Let your soul awaken. Your steps quicken slightly, and the turns grow sharper, and suddenly you step into a large clearing at the labyrinth's center with a large bonfire at its heart, smoky, warm, bright. These are the flames which we have kindled together. The fire calls for release and promises transformation. Over the crackles and pops of the burning wood, you hear the sound of beating wings from overhead and feel a fire kindle in your heart. You look upwards and see the largest, most beautiful bird that you have ever seen. You look into its eyes and see within them a familiarity which strikes you to the core, yet at the same time, those eyes contain the deepest mysteries of the universe. A voice speaks within your head saying, I am thee, and thou art me. The bird's feathers shimmer and flame in a myriad of colors. You watch as it circles once more and then dives directly into the fire and is utterly consumed. The fire grows and seems to reach for you. Hesitantly, you move toward the flames where the bird once was. The flames are warm but do not burn you. Instead, you are invigorated with a willpower and strength that is rejuvenating. Breathe in deeply and feel the divine move through you, aflame with the power of spirit. Feel others step into the flames and watch as they come alive with the knowledge of who they truly are. Become aware of yourself as an individual and as a part of something much larger. Feel the earth leave from beneath your feet. You're soaring upwards to the planets and the stars. A bird's cry pierces the world and opens your heart. Breathe in that sound. Become aware of yourself as the phoenix. You may open your eyes.
Thank you, Creasy. From these flames, we'll call on the youth and the explorer divine twins of the growing sun, to manifest within our temple and community. See in your mind's eye those flames, that bonfire in the center of the clearing. Breathe in the light of that fire. This is the light of the phoenix. And focus on your desire for the divine to be here, manifested with us in our shared space. Breathe out and feel the name of the divine settle on your lips so softly, like a butterfly on the flower. See the flames at the center of the labyrinth. At their center are two bodies, tiny and indistinct, but growing as they move closer. This is the youth and the explorer approaching hand in hand. See the twins more clearly as they approach, emerging from the flames. Notice their shape. Are they big and strong, lithe or wiry? What color are the hair, their eyes, their skin? How are they different or similar to the other? Breathe in that sight, breathe in the vision of these divine twins. And let that settle. What are they wearing? See their clothing, the colors, the textures. What are they carrying, if anything? Listen for their voices. How do they sound? Do they speak quickly or slowly? What might they taste like if you were to kiss their cheeks, their hands, their foreheads? How would it feel to embrace them? Breathe in the sound, the smell, the taste of the divine twins, and let that settle. How do the youth and the explorer hold their bodies? How do they move? If you notice a desire in your own body to move, allow yourself to move as if you were walking or dancing with the divine. The twins stand before you now, real and present in every detail. They are close enough that you can hear the rustle of their clothing and see the light glinting in their eyes. Close enough that you can feel the warmth of their breath and smell their scent. Breathe in the presence of the divine twins. Let it fill you and let it settle in your heart. These are the divine twins, the divine youth, the queer explorer, come from the flames at the heart of the labyrinth to teach us. Open your hearts now to their offering. If you wish, you may open your eyes. As these latest online rituals are much more casual, I'll be reading a poem, a prayer to the divine twins, and then we'll sit quietly for a moment to just frankly kind of bask in that presence. And afterwards, if people wish, I will invite us to think a little bit about how this applies to our lives in the time of the year right now. And if you wish, to share what those thoughts are moving forward. So first, divine twins, youth and explorer walking hand in hand, we honor and thank you. We ask for your blessings as we walk the labyrinth, for the queer spark of fascination and daring that sets us on a forward path. Carry the light of your touch into our hearts, awaken our spirits as the day lengthens, and bless our path as we explore the dawning world. Tell us a story of life and love and the unquenchable hope of the rousing earth. Open our eyes to the light of the stars and spark a revolution in our souls. Divine twins, sacred fools, and holy wanderers, bless us from body to breath, from bones to blood. Open for us the roads to wonder and courage, so that we might go forward into the world renewed by the bonds of our fellowship. We honor you always in the circle of our lives. Tus Kayate.
Tus Kayate.
And as I said, if you wish, you can close your eyes, you can keep them open. Focus, if they're open, you can focus, if you wish, on the obelisk or the flame in front. But breathe in that sense of the divine twins, both the youth and the explorer, joining us in this space hand in hand, working together to bless us with the inspiration and the courage and the knowledge and the drive that we need to move forward out of the winter and into our lives. As we awaken with the awakening sun, what is it that you wish to accomplish within community with this energy? This concept of divine twins is so beautiful to me personally, because it is a reminder that the divine also need to stand and exist in fellowship, both with us and with themselves. Even our divinities do not stand alone. This power of the awakening earth, of the rising sun, the growing year, this is a power that we manifest together. We bring ourselves out of the winter. We bring each other, rather. We bring one another out of the winter by doing this, by celebrating the growth of the sun, which, if you know me, I can't believe I even say something like that. But genuinely, thank goodness for the lengthening day, for the warmth coming back into our worlds. What will we do with that energy? What will we do with this sense of inspiration and awakening? Specifically, what will we do with that for one another? What can we do with that together? Take a moment or a few moments to think on that. And it doesn't need to be something enormous and grand. You don't have to think about, starting a new group or committing to, committing to, in-person things consistently or anything. This can be something very small. It can be a commitment to reach out before the summer, to reach out as the days are growing longer, to rekindle a connection that has potentially grown quiet. Or it could be something very large. But what is it that you wish to accomplish? What could you use that divine inspiration toward? Specifically, that inspiration of the divine twins, of divinity in concert with itself. What can that energy, what can the energy of awestruck open eyes and a courageous heart, what could that energy help you accomplish in the coming months and with the dawning year? You don't need to decide on anything right now, no commitment, no pressure. But think on these divinities. Think on the divine twins, on the youth, the explorer. Both the red of the blood of birth, but also that intense, light spring green of a flower or just a bud breaking through the snow into the world. What can you use that energy for in your life moving forward?
If I may.
Please.
Just this feeling of these two divinities in concert to me feels like that sudden, at least here, we have these false springs almost, where even in the depths of this time of year, we have these days that are unseasonably warm. And even then, there are times, even at like the pit of night, where you just get this unnatural sort of breath of fresh air just suddenly wash past. And this is what the youth and the explorer feel like in my heart right now. That someone just opened the door of the subconscious and just let a good, strong gust of air of light come through. And it's that sort of youthful, open-eyed wonder can also be extrapolated towards ourselves, I think. What speaks to me in this moment is an intention to use this energy to go through our own internal selves, to rifle through that room in the back of your mind that has been mostly filled with junk. That's just a nudge that, hey, there might be some good things in there. It could be time to go through there, find something neat. And if not, then even a chance to go to dust and clean and acknowledge yourself in your totality and the novelty and uniqueness of that. The hope there is that if you can see all of yourself, of all of the experiences and memories and thoughts rolling through you, that you can take some of that, and we can, by sharing that novelty with others, that we can help spark them in turn. That even just something as small as, let's share more dreams and stories. Let's share more of those tiny little sparks of wonder. The things that you might easily forget and just toss in the back. Let's take some time to spend more time with them maybe in the coming year. That's the gut feel that these two are telling me, and that's really nice.
Thank you. I love that.
They're reminding me that I have let a lot of relationships kind of languish during the pandemic. And they're saying, look, you need to reach out to some people that you haven't been in contact with. And maybe it's going to be video calls. Maybe it'll be having them come over and hang out at your apartment and order dinner from a restaurant. Doesn't matter what it is, but you need to think about the relationships that are important and go ahead and reconnect over this year.
I feel that. Absolutely. Is there anything that anyone else would like to share? And I leave us with this before we move on to healing. This sense of the unified divine, right, is really well expressed in that personal joining of hands, as specifically as we would in a group, but having to do it ourselves right now. We have the force of receptive awe and wonder as the supportive force, and that projective force with the right hand coming in with courage and direction and forthrightness. And together, left palm up, right palm down, and join those hands and really, really squeeze. Really give yourself that pressure there to feel that even when we are ourselves in embodied here, just me in this room, even from there, I feel through my hands the balancing forces of the divine twins. I feel my community. I feel that memory of joining hands in circle with all of you. I can still recall that memory so strongly just by joining them in a similar fashion myself. Recall this feeling when you're feeling disconnected, when you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling spiritually, oh shit, I forgot the word. As you're feeling spiritually uninspired. That's the word. As you're feeling that, grasp hands and feel that connection with all of the rest of us who are probably feeling similarly. We're not alone in the continued struggles of COVID. We're not alone in the continued struggles of being so far away from people that I love and get to see in this space. We're together even when we're apart. That's the meaning, that's the purpose of a fellowship. And not only can we feel that with one another, but we can feel it with our divine, and the divine feels it with us and with themselves. So don't let go of this feeling, or if it starts to recede, remember a good physical trigger for calling it back. Clasp your hands and feel not only your community clasping hands with you, but also the divine spark being born again every time you do so. So with that, we will move on to healing.
Thank you, George. From this place of queer power, let us honor that gift with healing in return. Close your eyes. Take a breath. Turn your face to the sky and cast your gaze upwards, past the ceiling, past the clouds, up to the stars, up to the heavens above, the shining, bright, eternal light of the stars. Breathe that light. Feel the light of the divine and breathe that down. Let that draw that energy down from the divine. Just let that fill you. Draw it down. Breathe that in. Take a deep breath and draw it in. One more time. In. And let that light fill you. Now hold that for a moment. And just feel the light of the divine inside you. And now turn your face down and cast your gaze down through the floor, through the foundation, down through the earth to the churning waters of life below us. See the reflected starlight on the waters of the cauldron below us, these lights of the ancestors. Feel that light, that churning, warm light, and breathe that up. Take a deep breath and let that light fill you. Let it mingle with the light of the divine. Breathe in again One more time. Let the energy of the divine and the energy of the ancestors fill you and suffuse you and mingle within you. Ellen?
And from this place, we take this shared light and usually in our ritual work it towards healing. We typically start with healing attendees. If it was a more embodied event, we would be partnering up, getting close to each other, and possibly laying on hands. Instead, I want to ask you to, with that light, turn into yourself. Let that light illuminate your mind, your spirit, and acknowledge yourself in this moment. Consider your morale, whatever shape your spirits, your body might be, and acknowledge that. We as a world are going through such trying times, and it weighs on all of us in ways that we notice and even don't. Is there a part of you that feels lacking, feels needing, or is just tired from carrying the strain? Just take a moment and sit with those parts. Acknowledge that they're stressed or tired or hurting or whatever way feels less than perfect, less than sufficient for you. Check in with yourself in that. This moment is a space for us to see all of those rough edges, all of those concerns, all of those hurts, and still make a voluntary choice to accept and love ourselves. Just us. Say to yourself that despite all of these harms, that you are still a wondrous being. So I would like you to breathe in and stoke that light again. We'll take a breath, one breath in, and draw from that shared light above. And draw that back down. Let these breaths be like bellows, like a fire slowly building. Another breath we draw down from that reflected starlight. And with one deep breath and one exhale, I want you to let that fire, that spark expand like a light bulb being flipped on, like light filling in all the dark corners, all the shadowed spots, all the eddies and little crevasses that are ignored. And let them just be bathed in this shared starlight, in this shared warmth of love. So breathe in, strong and deep, of that fire, and out. And once more, just a breath to stoke it again. And out. Like we're blowing away a layer of dust from all the winter dreck. Or you could imagine it like water, like that light is just tossing a bucket of warm soap and just letting it pull in all the cracks, smooth all the rough edges. This light is a symbol of that kindness and love that you are worthy of. And importantly, I want to impart that no matter what ardor and difficulty you have, how important, how good that it can be to just have this space to stare at yourself, to acknowledge all of you, and to still say that you are worthy of love and that you deserve it and that you should be, if not by anyone else, by yourself, because you are. Carisi?
Thank you, Ellen. Now that we've taken a moment to tend to our own needs, let's take a moment and tend to our community. Close your eyes and focus in your mind on that shining circle of open hearts that is our community. Take a moment and connect with each and every other member, with everyone else here. Everyone here is celebrating and sharing in this moment together. And there are members of our community that can't be with us tonight, but who are still with us in spirit. They are part of this circle too. Though they may travel far, though they may be busy, though they may not make these spaces with us, they are still with us and we are still with them. We stay connected, we stay together as part of one fellowship. So I want to take a moment and just breathe and stoke that energy once more inside you. Feel that light swell as you breathe in. And then this time as you breathe out, I want you to send some of that energy to that circle of open hearts and just take a moment to connect with all of the other members and with everyone here. Breathe in and out. And one more time, in and out. Reinvigorate that fortress so that we may weave the magic of life together. Ellen?
And from ourselves, we move out to our community, and from our community, we work out toward our world, the earth itself. In our tradition, when we do this healing, we don't focus on the earth itself. Though it goes through its own trials and tribulations, it is so much larger than us. It would be an insurmountable pouring into to even make the tiniest of impact. So instead, we focus on our connection to the earth. So, once again, close your eyes and breathe in, stoking that fire, stoking that shared warmth joined from above, of starlight, and below, that reflected, churning, warm life. Let your consciousness, let your mind's eye drift downwards, however you may be connected to the floor, to the firmament. Imagine, if you will, reaching down past the soles of your feet down into the earth, as if there was a long thread, a long rope that may look different to you. It might be roots, like roots twisted and coiled. It might be a massive knotted rope, many braids twisted on itself. It might be frayed. It might be scuffed or chipped. It might be torn and torn. But it is still there, and we are still connected. So I want you to breathe in that light again and let that fire stoke. And this time when we breathe out, we send that warmth down into that thread, into that connection, to repair it, to mend it towards us, link ourselves towards the world around us. So we'll breathe in one deep breath and out into that connection. Once more, in, drawing starlight and light below, and out, back into that world, back into this connection, that we may remain better linked and bonded to the world around us, that we remember that we are part of it and it is still part of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Elu. Theo?
Take a deep breath in. Feel that blessing, that healing that we've just experienced. And turn our attention now back to the divine, filled with new connectivity, new insight into our community, to those twins who came to us from the flames, out of their realm and into ours. Youth, explorer, divine twins, bright partners, we thank you for your presence here tonight. We open ourselves to you, to any messages or any words that you still have for us. Let us all breathe in that energy. And if there's any inspiration yet coming, let us just take a beat, a space to share it with one another.
There is a sentiment from our fellow members that others have been working a lot, and that there is a desire to use that shared presence, that warmth of the youth and the explorer, to be more present in their life, to slow down, to stop and smell the roses, as it might be.
Thank you all. Breathe that energy in. All of those blessings, all of the voices of the twins and of the many spirits who've gathered here with us tonight. We have met in their honor, filled our cup with their love. Drink, twins, and never know thirst. We honor you always in the circle of our lives. Tus Kayate.
Tus Kayate.
Our spirits have healed with us, communed with us, celebrated with us. Let us take a moment now to ask the Oracle to hear their voices. Divine twins, spirits of the fellowship, we ask you, what wisdom have you yet to share with us? And how can we best honor you in the coming seasons and when we meet again? We drew sulfur, mercury, and the labyrinth. The spirits know that quite literally we feel burnt out. We do our best to reach out to them, to honor them, and to honor ourselves. As the twins have spoken to us tonight about finding our own centers and our own communities and continuing to stoke our own flames, it can be hard to remember that even self-care can lead to burnout if we go at it too hard, if we insist on it too much. Mercury is the mediating force. That burnout cannot be resolved by working harder. It can't be resolved by committing more. To take us forward, we need to mediate ourselves and understand our place within the world, our place within the community, and our place within our own lives. Each of us is a myriad of worlds within our own mind and our own consciousness that we need to let exist and respect and honor all of the dichotomies and separate parts of ourselves. And we do that best by continuing to walk the path of the labyrinth, realizing that although our goal may be the center, maybe the flames of transformation, maybe more of that sulfur at some point in the future, that the path doesn't go straight there. It winds around, it curves. And sometimes it does look like we're walking away from where we want to be going. But it is still part of the path. And remembering that our feet are on it and we share that road with so many other people is what will take us forward into quintessence and into the future. And having now heard the wisdom of our spirits and our divinities, we will thank them for their presence in this rite. BA?
Take a breath. We honor the beings who have guided our rite tonight. George is holding our offering cup at the main altar. We ask you to focus on that altar and the cup. Breathe out your blessings and well wishes for these kindred of our hearts. Breathe your thanks and your love into the cup as I speak. We give thanks to the spirits, beings, and divinities that walked with us this night. Thank you for your presence and protection, for your blessings and bounty. Thank you for guiding our magic and our healing, and for holding open the way. We pledge to honor your gifts and to use them wisely. We give you thanks and honor this evening.
Thank you. To the Phoenix, we give offering. To the queer divine of many names, elder, mystic, liberator, warrior, healer, lover, explorer, and youth, we give offering. To the Minotaur, the dragon, and the queer ancestors, we give offering. To Terra, Soul, and the Genius Loci, we give offering. To all these spirits that walk with us, may you never thirst. Netzah Shaliach.
That's actually
What comes next?
Here we give thanks to the elements.
There we go, yes. So we will give thanks to the elements, and we will begin, we will do this in the opposite order that we called them in. So we will begin by thanking water and end with thanking earth.
Water that spreads, finds its own course, and eventually flows back together in community. We honor you always in the circle of our lives. Tuskayate.
Tuskayate.
Fire that burns in our heart, that comes from the divine with the sun increasing. We thank you for your gift of energy. We honor you always in the circle of our lives. Tuskayate.
Tuskayate. O air, giver of breath, giver of intellect, we honor you always in the circle of our lives. Tuskayate.
Tuskayate.
And earth, foundation and firmament, fertile field and the giving and start of a renewed life, a renewed year, a renewed spring. We give thanks to you. We honor you always in the circle of our lives. Tuskayate.
Tuskayate.
As we have honored the elements, we honor that which has been changed and invite it back into ourselves. May this transformed and reclaimed energy be a tool with which we work our wills.
Thank you. And now, focus again on the group as a whole, the full shining circle of connected lights that we all are. Take hands again. Left palm up and right palm down. Nice, firmly. Feel how our community has been empowered by our work here tonight. Feel how you have been changed personally. Send some of this transformed energy into the circle with a breath. And now send it out to the community that couldn't be here with us this evening. And one more time to the community at large, both queer and spiritual. This light, this connection, this is the power of the Phoenix to transform and regenerate. Let's take the gift of this connection with us in our daily lives. Manifest your will through love. And then now we go forth into the world, renewed by the bonds of this fellowship, out of the flames, into the light. Okay.
Thank you all so
Thank
much
you
for being in
all.
attendance.
Absolutely.
This, this concludes our evening's events.
Yeah.
It has been a delight and a joy.
Yes.
I can get out of there.
Oh, you're trapped forever.
I mean, there are worse places to be. I really do like the little library we have.
Very good.
Theo, can you pass control back over to me?
Sure, I can somehow.
Oh.
I knew it was possible, but I've never done it. So,
Open up the participants list.
aha, that makes sense. Okay, there you are. More. Make host.
There we go. Lovely. Thank you.
You are
Wonderful.
quite welcome.